guys, welcome back. So today when you're seeing this is actually my daughter Taylor's 3rd birthday. So I'm pre-filming this and I thought it would be fun to do a video on my labour and delivery story from when she was born, considering that it is her birthday. So I'm just going to get into it. I think I might ramble a little bit and go on for a while because I tend to really like talking about my labour and delivery experience. So just be warned, this may be a long one, but I suppose most of my videos have been pretty long in the past, so you'd probably be used to that if you are a regular viewer. Yeah, so she was due on the 11th of June 2012. The day she was due, I was at home. We lived in a different house in a different area. So my husband was at work and he worked about 45 minutes away from where we lived. My parents lived about 45 minutes away from where we lived, and so did his parents. And my sister lived just around the corner, so she was nearby, but they had actually planned to go and visit her mother-in-law that day. They were going to also be about 45 minutes away, so I was going to be all by myself in the house. I was not expecting to go into labour. I really didn't think that anyone went into labour on their due date, but my sister decided that she would just send her husband and her baby to his parents' house by herself, and she would stay with me for the day just in case something did happen. I was like, really, Tara, you don't have to do that. I'm not going to go into labour. I'm just going to sit here on the couch, eating food and watching the OC, because that's what I had been doing that whole week, basically. She was like, no, I'll come round, because she didn't want me to be alone and have to wait 45 minutes if I did go into labour. Because when she went into labour, her labour was quick, and quite intense, I think, from the get-go. So she didn't want me to have to go through that all by myself. So she came around about 10 in the morning, and I just sat on the couch all day in my husband's hoodie, and we just chatted and nothing much. I don't know. I think I made her make me lunch. Like, I just didn't do anything. I just sat on the couch all day. She went home about 5 o'clock, and Joe came home about 5:15. She was so funny though. She sat there all day just like waiting for me to go into labour, and nothing happened. So she was really disappointed when she left that nothing had happened while she was there. Joe got home, like I said, about 5:15. I started to make dinner because I was feeling energetic enough. But as I was cooking, I was defrosting the chicken or something, I can't remember. I started to feel a bit crampy, like a little bit of period pain, and I thought, what is that? I don't know. That feels like cramps, but again, it's really nothing. Like, it felt like really mild period pain. It's not even anything, intense at all. And I had lost my mucus plug maybe the day or two beforehand, so I knew it was coming. Obviously it was my due date, but I still didn't think it was. I thought it would be more dramatic. I was expecting waters to break first, but apparently that doesn't happen very often. Happened for my sister, but not for me. So I started having contractions, and we always joke about this, that Joe made me cook him dinner when I was in labour, but I didn't think I was in labour. So I cooked dinner, and we had Cajun chicken salad with like spicy wedges. So it was all very spicy and whatnot, but I got sort of halfway through dinner and I was like, no, these seem pretty regular. I'm thinking this might be it. It still wasn't that painful. It was just period pain, but it was, increasing in its intensity, and it was very regular, and they were getting closer together, and the contractions were lasting longer. So I was halfway through dinner, rang the nurse or the midwife at the hospital, and they said, they chatted to me for a while and asked sort of what was I feeling and for how long and how regular and all that jazz, and I was telling them. I think it was about 6:30 at this point. She said, finish your dinner, come in, because I was Group B strep positive, so I did need to go to the hospital pretty much as labour began, because they needed to give me a course of antibiotics, to prevent the Group B strep being passed on to Taylor. So she said, just finish your dinner, come on in and we'll get you going, we'll check you and see what's going on. So I finished dinner, not very well, because, I was having contractions. Bags were packed, so I called my parents and sort of said, have you gone to bed yet? Because maybe don't, because this might be, I was having my mum in the delivery room with me. So they got all excited. I think we must have rung Joe's parents as well. He must have rung them. I don't really remember. And I think I rang my sister as well, or I messaged her or something, I don't know. I did let her, like, all of my family know. So, so we did that. We packed our bags and got down to the hospital. We got there about 8 o'clock probably, after we, you know, sort of got things ready. Got to the hospital, they checked us in. I was having contractions by then, but still not that bad, like just, you know, I could feel them, and I was like, yeah, this is painful, but not super painful. The only time I was sort of like really uncomfortable was when we would go over, there was a train track on the way to the hospital, and we went over the bumpy track. That kind of, not hurt, but it was uncomfortable. I didn't enjoy that. And my water still hadn't broken, so, and the hospital was only about 10 minutes away, so that was a pretty quick journey. We got there, they strapped on the heart rate monitor, I think it is, to check the baby's heart rate, and to check the contractions and the strength of the contractions, and they sort of left me to it for a little while. So I had a few contractions then. The nurse came back, and I think it had actually moved out of place, the monitor, because she said that it wasn't really picking up very much on the contractions, but, you know, I was feeling them by that point. So they checked me internally. They got a trainee nurse to check me, which was fine, but I can't remember how dilated she said I was, but it wasn't very. So they actually said to me that they were going to give me a Panadol. They were going to give me a Panadol, put me to sleep in the wards, and then Joe was going to go home, and, you know, they'd come back the next morning, and then I would probably be in labour proper labour by then. So we were like, oh, okay. At this point, my parents were already driving down to the hospital, so they were like, oh, ring them back and tell them not to come because it's not going to happen today. I was like, okay, or tonight. I was like, all right, then I'm feeling, I was like, maybe my pain threshold is not quite as high as I thought it was, but because I feel like it's kind of going on, but no. So they left us to it, but she went out for a little while again, probably maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know, and the contractions were getting strong then. So I asked Joe to go and get the nurse to come back and maybe check me again, because I really was feeling like it was like the Panadol wasn't going to do anything at this point. So they did, and they checked me again, and they were like, oh, okay, no, you're in labour. There's, like, you've dilated a fair amount. Again, I can't remember how much. This was 3 years ago. But it was enough to sort of say, okay, you can be admitted and you can stay here and we can go into, like, you can do the labour thing. Which was good. So I had planned to not use I didn't want to use any, well, I was going to see how I went, but I didn't really want to have an epidural or anything like that. I was planning on having the gas for pain relief, but I wanted to see how well I could do without it for as long as possible, and then sort of use it maybe towards the end if I was finding it difficult. So I decided to hop in the shower, which I did. And it's kind of disgusting now that I think about it, because I obviously was naked. I took all my clothes off, sat on the floor of the shower, naked, like, it's disgusting. But I'm sure the showers were clean, but now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's just gross. So I sat on the shower, floor of the shower with the shower head, and just sort of was doing this to myself. I don't like to be touched when I'm in pain, so I thought maybe I would, like, during labour, but no. Still didn't want to be touched. So Joe had started to, like, sort of, massage me or whatever. No. I was like, please don't. Please just go sit over in the corner and just be there for me. You don't need to touch me. So when Mum got to the hospital, she walked into the little bathroom where I was in my shower, sitting on the floor in the corner, like, splashing myself with water. And she was like, oh my God, like, why, Joe, why aren't you massaging her? Why aren't you helping her? And I was in the middle of the contraction at the time, so I wasn't able to sort of really talk. And she came over and she started, like, rubbing my back. And I was like, Mum, please don't touch me, please. I don't want to be touched. And she was like, oh. So I did feel a bit bad. I didn't snap at her, but, she was trying to help, and I was like, just don't touch me. And I had warned her beforehand, and Joe, I said, I probably don't want to be touched during, not touched, but, like, I don't want to be rubbed and massaged and whatever. That's not really how I deal with pain. I like to just sort of go into my own little ball. So I stayed in the shower, I think, for a little while, and just wanted to splash the warm water over me. And then I think the nurse wanted to check me again, check how far I dilated again. So they were like, come on, you got to come out of the shower and get back in on the bed, or come into the room at least, so the nurse can check you. And I was like, no, I will just stay here because the shower is lovely and it's making me feel good and I'm very happy. And they were like, well, if you come out and you're feeling bad, you can have the gas. And I was like, no, bring the gas in here. I don't want to move. I want to be in the shower. And they obviously can't bring the gas into the shower because it's plugged into the wall. So eventually they got me out of there and got me like back into the room and onto the bed and gave me the gas. And I remember the first contraction, they were like, okay, here is your little nozzle thing. And they gave it to me to suck in the next contraction. I was, you know, puffing on the gas. And like I couldn't even feel that contraction. It felt so good. I was like, oh, why did I wait so long to have this gas? So that was pretty funny. So I think the nurse must have checked me again, I don't know. And then I think I spent the next hour or so maybe just laying on the bed with a flannel. I had a wet flannel over my face and over my eyes. I had the lights dimmed. I had my gas and I just sort of laid there and was quiet and didn't really talk. I had a bit of a chat here and there, but I just wanted to go to sleep basically. Between contractions I just wanted to be calm and just relax. I was trying to do breathing exercises, not breathing exercises, but just breathe through it. And I find it easier just to become quite internalize sort of the pain. I'm not really one to shout and carry on. I'm one just to go all quiet. So that's what I did for the next however long. So we carried on for a little bit longer, like that. And then she wanted to give me another internal because it was getting to the point where they thought my waters needed to be broken. So she gave me another internal to see how dilated I was. And while she was doing that, my waters broke and it felt freaking amazing. Because it was quite, you know, there was a lot of pressure leading up to it. And then as soon as they burst, the pressure just obviously sort of went. And that felt so amazing. I loved it. That was my favourite part, I think, of the whole experience. And I remember I kept asking her, had she actually broken them? Like I didn't know if she had done it, you know, had the hook out or whatever, but no, she said no, it just happened on its own, which surprised me. So after that, I think it all kind of went a bit quicker. I remember I was wanting to push, but I wasn't dilated enough and it was going to obviously damage. It just wasn't time to push yet. So they ended up putting me on my hands and knees with my bum in the air for, I don't know, not too long, but just to sort of slow down just to sort of stop me from wanting to push, because my body was just wanting to push. It's crazy. It was like doing it on its own almost. They were like tearing into stuff and I was like, I'm not doing it on purpose, I swear. So they turned me around and that helped for a little while. And then finally they were letting me push, which was such a relief, because the gas at that point was not doing much. All I wanted to do was push, get her out of me, get it done. And I was always under the misconception that the pushing was the worst part. I mean, like if you think about it beforehand without actually experiencing it, I mean, obviously, you know, the contraction's going to hurt, but you think that the actual, you know, pushing through your birth canal is going to be the part that is freaking painful. But that was actually a complete relief for me to start doing that. I was like, oh, thank God we can push. And since I've had her, I've spoken to other women about their deliveries and whatnot, they said the same thing. So that was interesting to find out. So I started pushing. The gas was not doing much at this point, but I think I was enjoying it because it gave me something to focus on rather than just having the painful contractions. So I'm not sure how long I pushed for. I think it wasn't quick, I don't think, but you know, I wasn't pushing forever and ever. I'm just telling the camera about when you were born. Do you remember? Yeah. So yeah, they wanted to take the gas off me, so I'd concentrate on actually pushing rather than sucking on the gas. And I was like, no, please don't take the gas away. But they made me. So I pushed a couple times without the gas, and she was not coming out. So the midwife told me that she wanted to do an episiotomy, which I was like, go for it, whatever you need to do to get this baby out is what you need to do. One of my work colleagues had told me she had an episiotomy back in the day, and my only thought was like, if Leanne can do it, then I can do it, it'll be fine. So the next contraction, she cut me, and I remember saying, oh my God, that feels so much better, and her head like came straight out. They told me to have a break, you know, from pushing for a second, and the next contraction I'd push the rest of her body out, but my body just went nuts and it just pushed her out straight away. I said, sorry, she's coming now. I pushed and she came out and she was out. They tried to put her up on my chest straight away, but her umbilical cord was only really short. Sorry guys, my memory card's full and I don't have another one, so I'll just have to finish off. I'll just have to finish off on my iPhone. So sorry about the quality and the change of angle and whatnot, and the fact that I'm probably really, really wobbly. But I'll just finish off quickly. So what was I saying? She came out. They tried to put her on my chest, but her umbilical cord was way too short. So they pulled her back down, called Joe over and said, if you're going to cut this cord, you got to cut it now because she ain't coming out otherwise. So he cut the cord, and then they put her back up on my chest, and yeah, she was there and she was crying. She has quite a, her cry is not half-hearted. It's quite an aggressive cry, so she was really going for it. But it was gorgeous. I remember I was in shock. I was just staring at her. I was like, oh my god, like, this is my baby. She was nothing she didn't look anything like what I pictured in my mind when I, thought what kind of baby I was going to have. She had hair, which I wasn't expecting, because both Joe and I had no hair when we were born, so I was expecting a little baldy. No, she had a full head of hair. I'll have a couple pictures throughout this vlog so you can sort of see what she looked like when she was born. But yeah, she pretty much full head of hair. And she was so cranky. She just didn't want to be out, which was like, it was great. So then they took her off me, did all their bits of, weighed her, measured her, did that kind of thing, and then they gave her back, and I started to breastfeed her, and she latched on straight away. I was really apprehensive about breastfeeding. I didn't really want to do it. I wanted to do it for her, but the idea of it just really freaked me out. And I was not scared to do it, but I wasn't expecting to be able to for some reason. I don't know why, but something sort of was putting me off. So sorry, there's a guy walking up and down the street being a bit strange. So yeah, I was really surprised when she just latched on and was ready to go. That was amazing. And as soon as I started doing it, I was happy to go ahead and do it for the rest of however long I was going to be breastfeeding for. So that was good. What else? Joe cried. I didn't cry. I didn't cry about her until I think it was a week or two later after she was born, and I was watching Once Upon a Time for the first time. And in the pilot episode, Snow White gives birth to her baby girl, and there's a curse coming, and she gives birth to her, gives her to her husband, and her husband takes her straight away and puts her in this magical closet and takes her far away, so she doesn't have the baby anymore. And I was watching that, and I suppose, once you've had your baby, every baby that you see on TV is like your baby. I don't know, it's weird, but I don't know, I can't really explain it. But I was watching that and I bawled my eyes out, and I was like, I love my baby so much. And that was the first time I ever really remember crying with her. I didn't cry at her birth. Joe was crying. He had tears dripping down his face. I was wiping them up. I was like, it's okay. But no, I'm not really a crier anyway, but I didn't until, I watched that episode, and then I was like, oh my god. So the doctor came in and stitched up my episiotomy. That was fine. They gave me a couple needles and numbed the area, and then got to work, which was great. It took them a while, actually. I was surprised at how long it takes to do that, but I didn't feel it at all. I remember they gave me a shot and I delivered the placenta fairly quickly, probably before they stitched me up, actually, but that's kind of a blur. I think they did it when I can't remember, actually. I don't know. At some point, I suppose I delivered the placenta, and then so she came out at 2:23 a.m. in the morning on the 12th, so we just missed her due date. What is all these people? So we were out of the delivery ward about, I think, 5 o'clock in the morning we came out, so he took a long time to stitch me up, and all the other stuff that comes after your birth. I think I had a shower as well before we left the delivery ward. And they took me out. They sent everybody home. They sent home my parents, and they sent home Joe, because hospital partners don't stay, and it's a public hospital. You share a room. There's only a bed for you and the baby. So everyone went home. Visiting hours didn't start till 9, so they could come back then. And I actually ended up with a room on my own for the first few hours. So they put me in there, and I was so hungry. I felt sick that I was so hungry. I was like, please, can I have some toast? And they were like, well, the breakfast cart will be around soon. And I was like, no, I need some toast now. So they brought me some toast. I ate that. Taylor was sleeping the whole time. She slept. I went to sleep. Well, I didn't. It's kind of hard to sleep after you just give birth, because although you're exhausted, like you've on this adrenaline rush and you've got a new baby you just want to look at. So I think I slept for maybe half an hour or something, and then she woke up and wanted. I was like, oh, she's crying. I suppose I have to do something. So I picked her out of her cot and cuddled her, and then I breastfed her again. And she was happy to do that. So as we've since learned, she loves eating. So that doesn't surprise me that she did that. But yeah, that was our first morning together, and yeah, it was a really nice experience. Like, I know some people have horrible births and they don't get to, it doesn't go the way they want, and the unexpected happens and they're traumatized. My sister had a horrible time with tearing and all that kind of thing. But my experience with giving birth to Taylor was a really nice experience. I was really glad to have experienced it that way. I can only hope that it goes half as well with this next baby. But either way, however, as long as they're out and as long as they're healthy, I'm happy with whatever has to happen. So that's my labour and delivery story with Taylor, who, like I say, is 3 today. So it's been a while, but I can still remember most of it pretty vividly. I probably left out a few things, but I mean, it's been 3 years. So I'll be back next week with another update on what is this guy doing? It's so weird. I don't recognise him either as one of our neighbours, so it's a little bit weird. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry about the change of camera halfway through, but I don't know. I must have talked for too long. And I will see you guys next week. Have a good weekend. Bye.